Hey, Shalawam, Shalawam. First and foremost, all praises be to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone, which rule well and teach well in sincerity, taught us his truth. And Shalawam to the Lord's hopeful elect, 144,000 men, as well as 1/3 men, women, and children, maintaining themselves, keeping the laws, commandments, and statutes to the best of their ability. It's your brother Yaramya Kazak, back with hopefully another edifying lesson through the spirit and power of Yahawah, Bahasham Yahawashi, Bahasham Kakadash. Alright, Shalawam, Shalawam. So this one is going to be entitled, Women Who Wear Wigs are pretty much are ugly, alright, are unattractive, okay, and are cursed. That will be the title. Women who wear wigs are cursed. Okay? So, let's start in Isaiah, the 3rd chapter, because it was just a little, I was doing this last night, and it was a little rough. All right, so I wanted to redo the live and do it in a better language. All right, So this is Isaiah 3, because last night I was extremely rough, and I know that. Okay, this is Isaiah 3:16. Now, keep in mind what it says. Judah, all right. Judah's women denounced. Okay, now first and foremost, let's get the word denounced. Okay, denounced. What does it mean?
Denounce.
To denounce something is to what? Publicly declare to be wrong or evil. So Judah's women denounced, these Israelite women denounced, is they're publicly declared to be evil. Okay, moreover, Yahawah saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, this is why they are denounced, and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and menacing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. Now let's get that word haughty, right? Because this is exactly why they're being denounced. Haughty, right? Let's get it. Let's let them talk. Haughty. Arrogantly superior and disdainful. Okay, so high-minded. What does being haughty mean? When you're haughty, you have a big attitude and act like you're better than other people. A haughty person acts superior and looks down on others. Haughty people are disdainful, overbearing, prideful, swaggering, and obnoxious. Now, what is most so-called black women today? Obnoxious, all right? Disdainful, prideful, obnoxious.
Obnoxious.
These are words you should write down. Extremely unpleasant. What does the word ratchet mean? They're very obnoxious. They're very ghetto. They're very unpleasant. Okay? An obnoxious person is someone whose behavior is considered very unpleasant, rude, or offensive, often to the point of being difficult to tolerate. Now, what is so-called black women? All right? They're the most undesirables on this planet. And I'm talking about wicked females. I'm not talking about sisters that actually know how to maintain order and listen to their household, listen to their head of the household, which is their husband. All right. I'm not talking about you females, but I'm talking about wicked individuals. And it's going to be a lot of women that come in this live and leave because they hate the subject matter. Okay. Because they're what? They're disdainful. They're obnoxious. They're rude. They're ratchet. They're ghetto. They don't know how to take order. They're haughty, right? So once again, denounce means to publicly declare. So Yahawah has publicly declared you women to be wicked. He's publicly declared you to be evil, right? Because what? Because you are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks. You're high-minded. You believe yourself to be better than everybody else. When you're just walking in on what? Ignorance, man. All right, you go forth to make your own righteousness. This is Romans 10:3, because you're ignorant. For they being ignorant of power's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of power. You believe you submitted yourselves to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi because you're calling on Jesus. All right, or you go to church every Sunday, or whatever it may be, but you never actually submitted yourself unto the order that he has ordained. You could go to the scriptures easily. All right, go to 1 Corinthians, the 11th chapter, 1-3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach is power. Okay? So it's an order structure. If you go against that order, then you are going against what the Most High ordained. This goes to you women that you go against your baby fathers. All right? You talk wickedness to them. You speak ill on them, especially you women that are kidnapping your kids from being with that baby father. Believing as a woman, you can raise that kid on your own. Where's this independent mindset coming from? It's coming from Esau Edom, because Esau Edom, the so-called YT man, he believes he can do everything on his own. He doesn't believe he needs God, so he tries to be God. You women take on the same vibration of the white man by trying to be the man. You try to be your head, all right? You try to take the position that was never ordained for you to take, okay? That's why Yahawah has denounced you. Going back, Judah's women denounced. So what did he do to y'all because he denounced you? And more so, let's get some more in this, man. We're going to make it clear as crystals, all right? And walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes. Let's get the word wanton.
Wanton.
Wanton. Of a cruel or violent action, deliberate and unprovoked. Sexually unrestrained, or having many casual sexual relations, typically used of a woman. All right? What are these women called? Thots, whores, harlots, prostitutes, etc., etc. Okay? A lot of these women are wanton. They're just free. You know, what do they call it? My hoe phase. As a woman, it shouldn't be common for a woman to have a hoe phase. No, you should leave your father's house and be with one man for the rest of your life. Women that have multiple encounters with men, you constantly have STDs, yeast infections, things of that nature, because it was never ordained for you to go forth and have multiple sexual partners. All right? Science can tell you that. Okay? It's just wicked. All right? The soil is polluted. So, but you women, you do these girls trips. You be like, I'm free, girl. I'm living my best life by letting all these men come into me, be into me, etc., etc. Failing to understand the scientific aspect and the spiritual aspect that you're making ties with these men and that their DNA is entering into your brain. So a woman that slept with over 10 men, she has the tendencies and the mannerisms of those 10 men because their DNA has entered into her brain. So you are 10 men. You have different spirits of those men. And these men may have demons on them. All right. So a woman is more easier access to demons. That's why she's known as the weaker vessel. Right. But women can't understand that. Okay. The Most High told you, Yahawah told you that you are the weaker vessel, but you refuse to understand it and to take it in. So you go forth with wanton eyes. Want to mess with everything, walking and menacing as they go and making a tinkling with their feet. Therefore, what did the Lord do? What did Yahawah do? He will smite you. He will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion. What's the scab? What's the crown? Your head, your hair, where your hair grows. This is why your hair will not grow, because it's a curse. All right? And Yahawah will discover their secret parts. What's your secret parts mean? Your area, your private area. So your private area will stink. You women will smell like fish. Your pH balance will be off because you have no understanding. You believe you can eat McDonald's, Burger King, Chick-fil-A, KFC, El Pollo Loco, Waffle House, whatever it may be. You believe you can eat this stuff constantly every single day and it's not going to have detrimental effects to your body. Okay, what you bring into your body is affecting the inside of your body. It's affecting the waters. If you're eating nothing but toxins and chemicals, it's going to reap out through what? Your pores. What is one of the biggest openings that you have? Your area. So it will reek out what you're eating. So if you eat fruits and vegetables, it's going to smell better down there. But if all you eating is dead flesh, it's going to stink. Men are going to dislike it. All right. So at the end of the day, you need to have, and that's because you don't have no wisdom. If you're eating pork, lobster, crab, shellfish, guess what? You're going to have a lot of parasites. So men that mess with you, they're going to enter into you, and parasites are going to leech and latch onto them. And what's in parasites? Demons. All right, more tendencies, more ways. You wonder why you're toxic. You wonder why you don't have a control of your emotions. A lot of these women be like, who gonna handle me? Bitch, don't nobody need to come around here and try to handle you. You need to handle your fucking self. All right? At the end of the day, you women think this shit is a game, bro. It's not no damn game. Men don't want no tests. Men don't want no challenge. Men don't want no obstacle. We want a pillar of rest, not a pillar of stress. But you want to add onto the pressure and the environment that we have to deal with already. So with the white T-man being over our heads, we got to deal with this fucking wicked ass black woman over our heads at the same time, man. All right? And a lot of men are tired of it. They don't want to deal with you women no more. That's why you are the most undesirable creature on this planet. A man will mess with a white woman, a Japanese woman, a Chinese woman over a black woman, because of the way that a lot of you are. And once again, I'm not talking about all black women, but I'm talking about majority. Over 80% of black women are evil and wicked, scandalous, petty, hateful, all right, malicious. And malicious, wisdom cannot dwell in a malicious soul. So some women can have wisdom, right? All women are not deprived of wisdom. But if she's malicious, wisdom is never going to dwell in that soul. Let's get that. And y'all got to excuse my French, excuse my German, but these things need to be said. Okay? At the end of the day, we do have, wicked individuals on this planet, man, that follow the vibration of Satan. And this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach. Let me see. Wisdom. 1 second. Wisdom, dwell, malicious. Ecclesiasticus 1 and 4. Wisdom hath been created before all things, and the understanding of prudence from everlasting. The word of power must... Wait a minute, that's not it. It's around here. I thought so. Let me look up the precept real quick. And for brother know it, in the comment board, Baba Kashar posted. It does say, wisdom of Solomon, Salakia. Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 4. For into a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject unto sin. Now, what is sin? Transgressing the law, going against the laws, commandments, and statutes. So if you're breaking the laws, commandments, and statutes, you're constantly sinning. You're constantly committing adultery. You're constantly watching porn. You're eating pork, lobster, crab, shrimp. You don't have no wisdom. All right? You're not listening to what the Most High said. You don't care what he says. You believe that women can preach and teach. You go to a woman church. All right? You go against your head. You go against the man that went into you and planted seed into you. All right? You go against the structure and the order. Therefore, wisdom cannot dwell into you because you are what? You are very malicious. Let's define the word malicious.
Malicious.
Malicious. Okay? Characterized by malice, intending or intended to do harm. So the so-called black woman and the Latino woman and the Native American woman, you have been used by the YT man to be a weapon. You have been weaponized against the black man, the so-called black man, which is an Israelite. You have been weaponized against the Latino man, which is an Israelite. Weaponized against the Native American man, which is an Israelite. Against the Puerto Rican man, which is an Israelite. Against the Cuban man, which is an Israelite. You've been weaponized against the men that have came to protect you. Can't you see how vile and wicked that is? Right? But a lot of you women do not care. A lot of you women would rather be independent, single, and lonely, and play with your so-called, your toys, your vibrators, these type of things, then be with a real man because you like an artificial type of environment. This goes back to you wearing wigs. This goes back to you wearing eyelashes. This goes back to you drawing on eyebrows, etc., etc. You've never liked real life. You despise the world that Yahawah has created, and you despise the body that you were given. You can't even accept that the curse is upon you. So let's go back to that curse in Isaiah, the 3rd chapter. Right? In that day, Yahawah will take away the bravely of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their cauls and their round tires like the moon, the chains and the bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs, and the headbands and the tablets and the earrings, the rings and nose jewelry, the changeable suits of apparel, the mantles and the wimples and the christening pins, the glasses and the fine linen and the hoods and the veils. Everything that our women use to look beautiful, etc., etc., it will be stripped away from you. Okay, let's get a precept real quick. Because you women do not believe that fire burns, but trust me indeed that it does burn. All right, let's go to the book of Isaiah. This is Isaiah 32 and 9. Rise up, you women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. So you women are at ease. You're relaxing. You think it's a game. Once again, many days and years shall you be troubled. Ye careless women. So this ain't speaking to you women that actually fear Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. No, this is speaking to you careless women. You women that are at ease. You women that are complacent, procrastinating. You think it's a game. You think that America is going to continue forever and you can continue to manipulate men. You can continue to get checks out of men and use men to pay your bills. And use men, in the sense of scamming and manipulating men. All right? For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women, so be fearful that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. Sackcloth. What is sackcloth? I'm just doing this. I'm just playing stupid real quick. Right? And it doesn't actually give. So we're going to have to get it and go into the web search. Sackcloth is a coarse, rough fabric historically made from goat's hair that was worn to express mourning, repentance, or humility. It's often associated with wearing ashes, and its use is rooted in ancient Hebrew traditions. Now, when did we use sackcloth? When we fast and prayed. When somebody unalived, somebody passed, we would use sackcloth and we would cry. All right? So it's signifying a time of mourning, a time of distress, a time of unease. Okay? So you women are going to be, and that's what Isaiah, the 3rd chapter is telling you. Let's go back. Right? All this glory that you once had, earrings, jewelry, okay? All this type of stuff that you once had, it's going to be took away from you. Okay? So it's going to be no more going to, what's that store? Any of these beauty supply stores. Okay? It's going to be no more of that. All right? At the end of the day. And it shall come to pass that instead of a sweet smell, there shall be stink. Woo! And instead of a girdle, a rent. All right? So your waist, you can't snap back how you used to. Okay? You can mess with all these men. You can get pregnant, push a baby out, snap back. No, it doesn't happen anymore. All right? You got stretch marks. You look fat. You got all these issues with yourself, your gut, etc., bloating, all this type of stuff. All right? Instead of a girdle, a rent. Instead of a well-set hair, baldness. So you're cursed. You can't grow hair. You have to wear wigs, bundles. You have to wear weaves, extensions. Guess what? That's you fighting against the curse. That's you not being humble. That's you not being meek. Don't you understand that the Most High has cursed you? He's trying to correct you and chastise you so you'll be humble and meek. But you don't want to put on the sackcloth. You don't want to. All you got to do is cover your head, wrap your head, and praise him. Turn back to him, fast and pray. All right? Listen to a man. Listen to the prophets. Eat. Eat correctly. Listen to what the brothers are putting out. Brothers is telling you vegetables, fruits, herbs, right? These type of things. They're telling you what to use in your hair. All right? Coconut oil, olive oil, all right? Brazil oil. These type of things. Okay? Tree bark, right? These type of things to help your hair grow, etc., etc. And don't eat no fast food. Don't eat all these toxins and chemicals. Actually cook. If a woman was minding her damn business and in her house cooking and taking care of her man, it would be no issues. Because you wouldn't be in the street yakety yakking. You wouldn't be out here in other people's business. Why are you minding other people's business when your house isn't took care of? You shouldn't be talking about nobody when your shit is not good, right? At the end of the day, and the scriptures say, if you judge, be ready to accept that same judgment back upon you. So you got to practice what you preach, okay? Now keeping it going. Let's start at the top again. And it shall come to pass that instead of a sweet smell, there shall be stink. This is why you women stink. You smell bad. You stank, as we say in the South. She stank. And instead of a girdle, a rent. And instead of a well-set hair, baldness. What was that song? Bump, bump, chicken, bump, bump, chicken head. All right? Your hair gelled up, greased up. Her hair is messed up. Right? Remember that? That's what you women are. Bald-headed, scallywag. Ain't got no hair in the back. Gelled up, weaved up. Her hair is messed up. All right? What did Kendrick say? Trust one of these bucket-headed. Nah. Okay? Because you're cursed. What does a woman's hair signify on a woman? Her glory. All right? Oh, he's just making that up. Oh, I'm making that up. All right, let's go to 1 Corinthians 11 chapter. And let's start around verse 5. But every woman that prayeth for prophesying with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head, for that is even all one as if she were shaven. So when you pray or you have a dream and you're relaying that dream, you need to have your head covered. All right? For you women that may come on here and, tell of a dream that you have, it's okay, right, to come on here and do that, but have your head covered and don't try to teach anybody. You can relay a dream to the world, okay, but have your head covered, and that's if you have a man, that's if your man allows you to do that, okay? Verse 6, for if the woman be not covered, let her also be shown. But if it be a shame for a woman to be shown or shaven, let her be covered. And shown means basically, right, short hair. She has shorter hair, okay? For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and glory of power, but the woman is the glory of the man. So what's a woman? She's the glory of the man. You are a man's glory, a man's treasure. He is supposed to keep you safe, near and dear. You don't supposed to be out here on the internet showing your body, showing cleavage, etc., etc. All right? You have been taught by the YT man to express yourself in that way, in a way that is whoredom, in a way that is wickedness, OnlyFans, etc. You think God is pleased with OnlyFans? Well, he got to be pleased with it because he's paying my bills. He give wicked people money. Bill Gates is a billionaire. You think Bill Gates is in a good spot with the Lord? Right? Money does not equal blessed. This is what you individuals need to understand. You got George Soros, Elon Musk, Bill Gates. You think these individuals are in a good spot with the Lord? You need to check yourself. All right? They do wickedness and they get money because they are being preserved for a judgment. So you women that are making millions of dollars doing OnlyFans, all right, you are also being preserved for a judgment. All right? You better, mess around and find out. Okay? Mess around and find out. So a woman is a man's glory. All right? For as much as he is the image and glory of power, but the woman is the glory of the man. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. That kills that doctrine of people saying that a woman by herself gave birth to a man. No, that's a lie. A man had to place the seed into the woman incubates the seed, and the seed comes out after 10 months. Okay? That's what happens. All right? For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. For this cause ought the woman to have power on her head because of the angels. Nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman, neither the woman without the man in the master. For as the woman is of the man, even so is the man also by the woman, but all things of power. Judge in yourselves, is it comely that a woman pray unto power uncovered? So ask yourself that question. No, she needs to cover her head. Do if not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him. Okay? A man does not supposed to do things in the ways that a woman does them. You don't supposed to have long feminine hair down your back. All right? Now, verse 15, the point being, but if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her, for her hair is given her for a covering. Okay? At the end of the day. Now, going back, let's go back to Isaiah, the 3rd chapter, and go back up to the point at 16. Judah's women denounced. He publicly declared you to be evil. Now, what's one of the things he did? Once again, all right, right here. Therefore, Yahawah will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion. So for you women in here, understanding, he took your glory away from you. He took your hair away from you. Your glory. He took your eyebrows, your eyelashes. He took your glory away from you because you didn't know what to do with it. You got too high-minded, haughty. You got too haughty. You got to a certain position and you thought you were so beautiful that you didn't have to worship the Most High anymore. You got it all. So you felt like, hey, whatever, I got all this stuff, right? That's why when you get benefits, when you get anything, okay, always remember to praise and give honor to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, regardless what it is. Now, finishing this scripture out, this chapter out, let's read this one more time. And it shall come to pass that instead of a sweet smell, there should be stink. For a woman's private area to stink, that's an embarrassment unto her. All right? That will make a man who, might have been talking to her for months. She's not taking care of that area down there. He's not going to want to do nothing with that. Okay? That's a ultimate cutoff. That's an ultimate turnoff. All right? So you women that mess with a lot of men, because that's wicked, you're a turnoff. A man does not like to go into anything that another man has went into. And if a man does, then he's a weak, sad man. A man, a real man, wants something that's his, all right? That he can claim, that no man can touch, because that's his glory. That's his treasure, okay? So you women need to understand that men don't like to deal with another man's woman, all right? And that causes problems down there. And instead of a girdle, a rent. And instead of well-set hair, baldness. And instead of a stomacher, a girding of sackcloth. And burning instead of beauty. You women are not beautiful right now. When will you be beautiful? In the kingdom. Right now, a lot of you women are artificial and fake. From your head to your toe. What you got going on? BBLs. Lip injections. All right, breast, enhancements, these type of things. Your body is bought and paid for. You got a receipt on everything that you got on your body. And you high-minded in that? You got a receipt for your hair, for your nails, for your eyelashes, for your eyebrows, for your breasts. I need another hand for your butt. All right? Man, come on, for your toenails. You got a receipt for every piece of your body. And you high-minded in that? You think that that's amazing? And you got the nerve to tell a man? You got the nerve to tell a man? Y'all see we in the last times. I hope y'all can see we in them last days, man. I hope y'all can see that. All right? Verse 25. Thy men shall fall by the war, and thy mighty in the war. Salakia. Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war. and her gates, your eyes shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. So you women, you wicked women, you choose men that are set up for judgment. As the scriptures say, let's go to the book of Sirach, and we beginning to close. Let's go to the book of Sirach, the 25th chapter. All right, and go down some. Right here. This is what a wise man should pray for. Give me any plague but the plague of the heart. So you don't want to be cursed with madness. You don't want to be cursed with no understanding. And any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman, because the wickedness of a woman is unmatched. This is letting you know that the YT man, his wickedness ain't even matched to a woman. Okay? She's the most wicked individual on this planet. This is why the scripture says this. Give me any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. So anything else, I'd rather be under a white man working at his plantation, his job site, than be under a evil woman. Trust me, that's why I got out the military, because I had an evil woman ruling over me, and she made my life a living hell. So I felt that wickedness of a woman, right? She made me leave a good paying job, right? But the military was BS anyway. All right, 14. And any affliction but the affliction from them that hate me, and any revenge but the revenge of enemies. So let's go to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, to tie it in two. We got to do these precepts, right? Line upon line, here a little, there a little. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground, to delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom, and towards her son, and towards her daughter. Okay? Now, I had an honorable discharge, because Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi stood in the gap for me. Right? She tried to get me kicked out. But what did I do? I played humble. Right? I understood the test. And I wasn't even in the truth at that point in time. But I got out honorably. He ain't allowed that evil ass woman to destroy me. I had 3 months left in the military, and she tried to destroy my whole career and get me kicked out and give me a dishonorable discharge. That's how wicked a female can be. That's how wicked they are, man. They're extremely wicked. Like, lady, just let me get out, bro. Just let me get out. But no, she wanted to take everything because she wanted me to stay in the military. I'm like, nah, I'm getting out. I done did 8 years. I don't want to do this anymore. This is not my life path. But she's like, no, Jeremiah, you could just stay in and do some more years, etc. I'm like, no. You may like this shit. I hate it. All right. So then she tried to make my life a living hell. When a woman can't get her way, she tries to make your life a living hell. He don't want to be with me, so I'm going to keep his kids from him. That's that bitter baby mama spirit. All right? That's how these women are. If it can't go their way, then they don't want it to be no way at all. And a lot of you brothers may have felt that or seen that, or you know people that have been made examples of that. All right? So keeping it going. Let's read this one more time. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom, and towards her son, and towards her daughter. All right? So at the end of the day, she's going to hate the head of her house, she's going to hate the son, and she's going to hate her daughter. All right? Nah, I couldn't cuss her out. I just had to get out honorable, you know. If I cussed her out, she would have probably took me back up on charges, saying I was being disrespectful to my commanding somebody that's over me. She could have. So I had to walk with a tight rope. You know what I'm saying? I had to be careful. I had to use wisdom. You know. So verse 57, and towards her young one that cometh out from between her feet, her baby. All right, and towards her children, which she shall bear. For she shall eat them for want of all things, secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. So when Jacob's troubles set in, and it's not going to be any food, anymore. And this also happened in 70 AD. Women were eating their kids. Okay? These type of women. That was the curse. That was their judgment. To eat what came out of their feet. You got a lot of these women, they don't want to be mothers. They talk about their kids like they wish their kids was never born. Right? That's a curse that's set on you. That's those curses. That's 56 and 57. You're going to eat your kids. You're going to have kids and you've been despising and hating that kid your whole life, their whole existence, and you're going to eat them when the food runs out. All right? And y'all may be like, that's not going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen when there's no food, when it's purging out here, when everybody is out here going crazy, unaliving one another, and you can't get to the grocery store. You got to take a C-hip to even get food. It won't be no gas stations available. It ain't going to be no gas. You can't get to the grocery store, right? So, hey, perspectives are going to change, okay? This is what we're trying to warn you people and tell you about. But y'all don't want to listen, right? So she hates her husband, her baby daddy, whatever it may be. She hates her son and she hates her daughter, okay? And she's also, these are certain curses that come upon wicked women. Furthermore, let's keep it going because that right there is what? And any affliction but the affliction from them that hate me. So for you wicked men, your women are going to hate you. That's the affliction that has been put on you. And she's going to revenge you. So she's become an enemy in your house. All right? There is no head above the head of a serpent, and there is no wrath above the wrath of an enemy. I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. So you rather be with a lion and a dragon, man. Okay? At the end of the day, that's the emphasis on it. How wicked her wickedness is. The wickedness of a woman changeth her face and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. A woman may be the whole time pretending to be with you, right? She may, get a couple drinks at the bar, etc., etc. She'd be like, can we get out of here, right? Can we go to a hotel room, okay? And you being a simp, you being a dummy, you don't know nothing, you green. You're like, yeah, because you just lustful. You just want to get them panties, right? That's all that's on your mind. Boom, y'all get to the hotel room. She go in the bathroom. Then 3 dudes kick in the door and rob you for everything that you got. You got set up, caught up, messing with a wicked ass woman. This is why one night stands ain't no thing, man. You should not be doing this. You should vet a woman. She has to prove herself. You have to deal with her for many months, years possibly, all right? Before you deal with her, okay? Don't just be gullible and just get with a woman to get with a woman, all right? Now you can mess with a harlot and things of that nature, but you need to use wisdom, especially in these times, because a lot of these women have STDs, STIs, whatever they want to call it. All right. A lot of these women are married and they're lying to you and telling you they're not married. So you come over to her house. You didn't know it was her husband's house. And boom, her husband kick open the door, wave in the 4-4. All you heard was, don't hit me no more. Right? Playing around with the play around. A lot of you brothers need to have wisdom when dealing with these women. I don't care if she says she's not married. You need to check. You need to wait. See how she acts. She always on her phone, etc., etc. These women are good at hiding. Let's read this one more time, man. The wickedness of a woman changeth her face and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. She's good at acting. Women, especially wicked women, are the best actors. Okay? Her husband shall sit among his neighbors, and when he heareth it, shall sigh bitterly. Oh, that's your woman, bro? I saw her with Earl down the street. What? Earl? Earl? Yeah. I didn't know that was your woman. I thought that was his girl. That's everybody girl, right? You just didn't know because you got a wicked woman. Now that right there needs to make you examine yourself. Because if you with a wicked woman, then you must be a wicked individual. You're not choosing right. You're not examining and using discernment on the red flags, right? So at the end of the day, are you leading your household correctly? right? This is why you need to be careful with who you lay down with, because these women are cursed, these women are hateful, and these women are wicked. All right. Now, it is some good women out there, and those women know that this is not about them. This is about the wicked women in our nation. All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. So sinners get wicked women. Wicked women get sinners. They're match made in heaven, literally. All right. They were designed to be with one another. As the climbing up a sandy way is to the feet of the aged, so is a wife full of words to a quiet man. A quiet woman is a gift. That's a blessing. All right. At the end of the day, this is the opposite of that. This is a wife full of words. Why is she talking so much? She needs to shut up. A woman needs to know her place and her position is to let a man lead. Con, we going to get there up. Is to let a man lead. All right. At the end of the day, stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure. So you brothers that's caught up, you like, man, she bad, bro. You know, she bad, you know. But how is her character? How is her wifely skills? Can she cook? Can she clean? Can she take care of kids? Right? You need to check these characteristics. Okay? It doesn't, no, a body doesn't mean shit. That body withers away and gets old and fades away. Once again. Okay? And man, a lot of that shit, yeah, don't be lustful, bro. At the end of the day, don't be lustful. All right? I'll get it for you out real quick. And I was going to make my way over there. This is Sirach 26 and 23. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. All right? So it's letting you know the balance. All right? If you're doing right, then you're going to attract what's right. As the brother Yasharahla always say, you know, you get what you put in. You get out what you put in. So as Yahawashi said, you reap what you soweth. Right? So it's just. It's true spiritual justice. All right? What you put in is what you're going to get out. It's never going to change. Okay? Let's get it. Let's get a little bit more, and then we're going to wrap it up. Back to 25, verse 22. A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, imprudence, and much reproach. Because why? She's going to get corrected. She's going to get rebuked. She's going to get set on the right path. Okay? So it's not going to be no, happy wife, happy life. No, that's not a real thing. A woman has to get checked. A woman has to get set in line. She has to get trained to know the proper ways to go. Because a woman she can't hold on to these scriptures like a man can. So she has to be taught the correct way. Right? And for you wise women, you'll understand that and you'll take the wisdom openly. You'll take the wisdom with an open heart and an open mind. But a wicked woman is always going to buck up at the scriptures. Well, babe, I don't care if it's the Sabbath. I want to do something. When does the Sabbath end? Well, we can start early. Right? We can do something right now and just not do nothing tonight. No. That's how these women are trying to get in your head. Try to make you defile the Sabbath. Okay? A woman is unclean when you go into her. Right? So you cannot do any unclean action on the Sabbath. So you're not supposed to have no intercourse on the Sabbath. Don't allow a woman to get you to break the Sabbath. Right? Don't be lustful. You can mess with that woman 6 days of the week. Don't mess with her on the Shabbat, bro. All right? At the end of the day, man, and that goes back to the point of that right there is a red flag. She's trying to get you to break the laws, commandments, and statutes. Right? The same way Eve did. That's it, bro. The same way Eve did. So she's trying to get you to break the laws, commandments, and statutes. This is how Adam fell. This is how Solomon fell. This is how many men fell. This is how David fell. All right? Going into another man's wife, breaking the laws, commandments, and statutes. That woman should have never laid with David. She knew she was married. This is going to what we told you, brothers. Don't mess with these women because they may be married. So you need to check it out. You need to investigate. You got to investigate something that you're about to invest time in. All right, Proverbs 31 and 3, right? Let's get it real quick. So you need to investigate, you know? And if a woman has a problem with you investigating, with you being curious about her background, about her whereabouts, about things of that nature, then hey, it is what it is. She may not be the one because she may be trying to hide something, right? Proverbs 31:3. Give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings. So lust not after her. All right? Don't give your strength unto her. Don't give her ways to bring you down and take you out the way. You don't always want to be up under a woman, man. You want to have your own space, your own time. You want to have man time, alone time. All right? Sit with yourself. Sit with your thoughts. You don't need to be under a woman 24/7. That's not the way we was meant to live, man. All right, let's get a precept to that. This is Proverbs 6:25. Lust not after her beauty in thine heart, in your mind. Neither let her take thee with her eyelids. Once again, don't be lustful. I don't give a damn how she looks. That needs to be your mindset. Most of the time, the ones that look the best are the worst. These are the women that are most haughty. They're the most high-minded. Their head has been gassed up over all their life. So they believe everything that these brothers are telling them. When a real Israelite brother come through and let them know, bitch, you ain't shit. Okay? And like, are you keeping the laws, commandments, and statutes? That's all I care about. Right? Do you know how to be a wife? Do you know how to be can you sew? I want to ask a woman that. Can you sew? Most of these women gonna say no. All right? Can you sew? Can you bake a cake from scratch? Can you make, like the elder Zaquan, like, can you make some peach cobbler, baby? Can you make some peach cobbler? Right? A lot of these women can't cook. A lot of these women can't sew. They can't fix nothing. All right? They can't wash clothes properly. All right? When they washing the clothes is shrinking. Okay? They don't make the bed. They don't clean up. Right? At the end of the day, kind of what the brother said, most beautiful and attractive women are the most nasty, generally speaking. And that's facts. All right? 90% of the time, they are. You know? At the end of the day, you know, and those are the women that'll do anything for a little bit of change. You know what I'm saying? They trying to get with a YT man that got money, that got a big house, etc., etc. They'll do anything for a little bit of change, man. Okay? You need to, I always tell brothers this, man. Take a chick out, you know, maybe the second date, third date, forget your wallet and see how she react. See how she react. What's she gonna do? Is she gonna trip? Or is she gonna be like, it's okay, you got the last 2 dates? You know? You need to test these women. Y'all playing games. That ain't no playing games. You need to be tested. Doesn't Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi test us? So therefore, we need to test our women. Right? At the end of the day. Okay? Broski, you know, we'll talk on WW3 maybe in another live. This live right here is dedicated to the women. All right? That's the subject matter. But I normally talk about WW3 a lot. It's on my page as well, bro. You know. All right. So yeah, we'll get into it most likely tonight or tomorrow. All right. So let's finish this up. Let's wrap it up. You know, this is verse 20. This is Sirach 25:23. A wicked woman abateth the courage, maketh an heavy countenance and a wounded heart. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees. Now, what is that speaking about? Pettiness, holding a grudge, bitterness. Let's go into the law. Let's go to Leviticus 19:18. All right, this is what a lot of you women do. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am Yahawah. Okay? A lot of you women hold grudges. Okay? Dang, 1 second. I gotta cash out my mom, son. All right. A lot of you women are bitter and you hold grudges. You try to get back. You try to avenge. Who needs to get back? If somebody does you wrong, right? Who gets the revenge on them. Let's go to Exodus 14 and 14. Yahawah shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. All right? At the end of the day, we tell brothers this, yo. If your woman does commit adultery, you can't unalive her. You will go straight to prison, bro. Okay? Now, the best thing for you to do is leave her. All right? Leave her. Okay? Ain't no working it out, bro. You know what I'm saying? Leave her. Get up out of there. Okay? So, you allow the Most High to unalive her. All right? If she doesn't repent and turn back, and y'all be reconciled, maybe, possibly, right? The Most High is going to take her out. If she's a wicked woman, she will get dealt with. Okay? So that goes also to men that like to beat on their women, all right? Or be whoremongers. You're using the scriptures to just have all these women and you're not taking care of none of these women. That's against the scriptures. You have to take care of your house. That's Exodus 21 and 10. If you get another wife, you got to take care of that wife. You got to provide the clothes for her, provide the food, the raiment, etc., etc. And if you have kids with that woman, you have to take care of those kids. So if you think about messing with another woman, understand that's a whole nother financial situation that you're involved in. So you're going to have to take care of this entire another household. Do you have two houses, brother? Check yourself, right? At this point in time, in captivity, in slavery, it's best to just have one woman. All right? Some brothers have no women, and that's the best thing for them, right? Because it gives them more time to study the word, understand the word, etc., etc. A woman is a whole nother obligation that you have to spend time to. You have to put time into, right? Let's get these precepts from the brother. I get that 1 Timothy first. 1 Timothy 5 and 8. But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. You can know the names, you can know the doctrine, but you're not keeping it. You're not practicing what you're preaching. So you're worse than a non-believer because you're not taking care of your family, bro. You're not a real man. A real man is accountability. You have to be accountable. You have to take care of these things that you have created in the world, which is your seeds. I got plants. I got a garden. If I don't go out there and water my garden and take care of it, right, it's going to be destroyed. You cannot allow your seeds to be destroyed. This is Deuteronomy 32 and 35. To me belongeth vengeance. This is talking about Yahawah and Yahawashi, because Yahawashi has been given the power to bring vengeance and salvation. All right. To me belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time, for the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon them make haste. For Yahawah shall judge his people and repent himself for his servants when he seeth that their power is gone and there is none shut up or left. You don't put power into your own hands. As the scriptures say in 2 Esdras, the 15th chapter, they will put the power in their own hands and try to go forth against the government. We don't do that. We Romans 13, we Matthew 5 and 25, right? We don't try to fight the government. That's not the way. Whoever's been teaching you that is incorrect. We are waiting on Yahawashi. What's the point on waiting on Yahawashi if you're trying to jump the gun and fight the government on your own? All right? That's why these protests are not for us. All right? At the end of the day. So let's finish it up in Sirach, the 25th chapter. All right? 24. And all right, let's keep it going. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all perish. Okay? So for you women to understand, because what? She's the weaker vessel. Esau, which was the serpent in the garden, that was a man. And for ears to hear, you got ears to hear. All right? You can understand that the word serpent goes back to Nakash, which means warlock or wizard. All right? So it was a man in the garden, same individual, which is the so-called YT man. And he put what? He put a doctrine on Eve. He put spells, witchcraft. He got into her mind and he taught her a different way. And what did she do? She brought that way back to Adam. And then Adam fell to that understanding. Okay? So they were in sin. They committed sin. They ate from the wicked fruit, which is a different doctrine. Okay? Khan, Nakash means to enchant as well. Wizard, warlock, same thing, to enchant. Khan. Alright? Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. So it basically, she's what? She's the weaker vessel. It was able to enter into her. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. So you need to rule over your household. Alright? As a man, you need to know what's going on. What's taking place. Don't just have a house full of chaos. You just got the kids running everywhere, etc., etc. No. Alright? If she go not as thou wouldest have her, that means she needs to be under the order of you, under your instruction. Cut her off from thy flesh and give her a bill of divorce and let her go. Okay? And that comes to the point when she's being detrimental to the truth. She's committing adultery, she's committing adultery, right? Etc., etc. She's just being a wicked ass individual in your household. It comes to that point where you cut her off. Because you got to understand also, if she's in the truth, then once you cut her off, she can't mess with another man ever. Okay? Because that would be playing a harlot. So she can be cut off, but she has to be forever celibate. Right? But you can give her a bill of divorcement, but she can't mess with nobody else, or she would be playing the harlot. So that's a major thing for an Israelite woman. Now, for a concubine, a heathen woman, you just cut them off, whatever. All right? You get you tired of that, leave it alone. All right? She doesn't please you, then let it go. Okay? It's a difference, because these heathen women were never under the law. They were never under the understanding. All right? Bring the brother up real quick. And we pretty much reached the end. That was it.
Shalawam, Shalawam. Actually, the woman that you give the bill of divorcement to, when you divorce her, she can't marry again, according to the law. Are you aware of that?
Now, I thought Yahawashi said he was basically.
Let me show you right now.
Yeah, bring it out.
Yeah. You got to read Deuteronomy chapter 24, and you can start at verse 1. It says right here, when a man hath taken a wife and married her, and it comes to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he hath found some uncleanness in her, then let her write her a bill of divorcement, and give it in her hand, and send her out of his house. And when she is depart out of his house, she may go to another man's wife. She may go and be another man's wife. Slot.
Yeah, I see it.
So that's Deuteronomy 24:1 going to verse 2. So I always let straight up, and I'm serious about this. All these females out here, better get them a bill of divorce before they go start marrying another man. If you don't, it will be considered adultery once you get with another man. It will be
what I was going off of Mark 10 and 12. And if a woman shall put away her husband and be married to another, she committeth adultery. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. That one right there, she committed adultery. Why? You ain't wrong for saying that, but the reason being is because at the end of the day, read Romans chapter 7, verse 1.
Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law, how that the law hath dominion over a man as long as he liveth.
Read verse 2.
For the woman which hath an husband is bound by the law to her husband so long as he liveth. But if the husband
means that she can't divorce her husband. So all these women out there talking about, I want to get divorced, I want a divorce. All these women out here doing this divorcing thing, shit. What y'all understand? Y'all basically are breaking the laws of the Most High. But seeing that we all grew up in a slave plantation Christian church, they'll let you know it's okay to divorce your husband because they really don't know what marriage and divorcement is according to the Bible. So a woman's talking about, I'm gonna get a divorce. I'm like, if you get a divorce, it has to be by me, because according to the laws of the Most High, only a man can get a divorce. And I just got done reading that in Deuteronomy chapter 24, starting at verse 1, going to verse 2, regarding the bill of divorcement. The woman don't give the bill of divorcement; the man gives the bill of divorcement. All right. So if you go from that man and you deal with another man, you are committing adultery. To you females out there, I made myself clear, did I?
Yeah, I got you.
That's all I had to say regarding that, just helping you out with that. But yeah, a lot of people don't understand. A lot of Israelite brothers, even in claiming themselves to be in the truth or in the truth, don't even understand that the minute you divorce your rib or your ex-rib, give her a bill of divorce. If you don't give her a bill of divorce, you're committing adultery right along with her, because you didn't go and give her a bill of divorce according to the law, so that she can be identified as a woman that's now single.
Yeah.
Because other than that, you don't give her a bill of divorce, and then you having her going around and getting with some other dude, then that would be considered adultery and fornication. And fornication is also fornication is another word for sleeping with a prostitute. You've made her become a prostitute, and then according to the law, it says not to cause the daughters of Israel to be a whore. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Because if that happens, then the land is defiled and it becomes greatly polluted. Just like how that's Leviticus 19 and 29. So if you don't give her a bill of divorce, and she's going around lying down with every man that she come across, the land is polluted because you didn't let her know, I must give you a bill of divorce. Right? And that's what it comes down to. If she was like, I'm going to do my own thing, that's on her. Then she's going to be destroyed for that. But you're held accountable if you don't give her a bill of divorce. So when you give her a bill of divorce, your hands are clean when you divorce her. And then on top of that, her hands are clean. Right?
Okay.
So that's what it comes down to. So that's what my dad did it. My dad did it to my mom. Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Bless my mom and her situation. But that's just the way things are. You got to be just and when you divorce your rib or your ex-rib. Because if you don't give her a bill of divorce, it goes all the way back to the things that Yahawashi Hamashiach said. Can you read that scripture again about that, regarding adultery, about Hamashiach Yahawashi said?
Okay. Mark 10 and 12, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, read.
And if a woman shall put away her husband and be married to another, she committeth adultery.
That means she don't get a bill of divorce. She just go around, I'm going to leave you. F your bill of divorce. Read it again, because Tay said I missed what y'all said. Read it again.
And if a woman shall put away her husband and be married to another, she committeth adultery.
Meaning that if she don't get that bill of divorce from her husband, she's bound to her husband as long as she liveth. And if she just leaves her husband and go with somebody else, she commits adultery because of that. One more time, slowly.
Mark 10 and 12. And if a woman shall put away her husband and be married to another, she committeth adultery.
It says she committeth adultery. That's Mark 10 and 12. Go to verse 11.
Verse 11. And she unto them whosoever...
Verse 11.
Whosoever... Oh, Salakia. And he saith unto them, whosoever shall put away his wife and marry another committeth adultery against her.
Slow it down. Read it again.
And he saith unto them, whosoever shall put away his wife and marry another committeth adultery against her.
Meaning you don't give her a bill of a divorce. So when you read verse 11 and verse 12, you ain't giving her a bill of divorce. You committed adultery against her, and she commits adultery against you. That's why a bill of divorce is so important according to the laws of the Most High. So
Let's
we
read.
live in a society. Go ahead,
Yeah, I
Axel.
want
Go
to go
ahead.
through Romans 7, 1 through 3, because this might trip them up a little bit. So I'm gonna read these and then you could break it. Know
All
ye
right, go
not,
ahead.
brethren, for I speak to them that know the law, how that the law hath dominion over a man as long as he liveth. For the woman which hath an husband is bound by the law to her husband so long as he liveth. But if the husband be dead, she is loosened from the law of her husband. So then,
Right there. That means she can't get a divorce. Period. Go ahead, read on.
if while her husband liveth, she be married to another man, she shall be called an adulteress. And that's what I was saying in my breakdown of it. But if her husband be dead, she is free from that law, so that she is no adulteress, though she be married to another man.
Exactly. Meaning that if her husband prior to that situation passed away and she marries another man, she's free from the law. She's not an adulteress. So through that legality, she's actually in the clean. But as long as the man is around and have not given you that bill of
Bill of
divorce,
divorce, yeah.
and you going around sleeping on with some other dude, you're not only committing adultery, but you're also committing fornication. Depending on
Exactly.
how many men you're sleeping with.
Exactly. That's why I would come back to here, Sirach 25 and 26. If she go not as thou wouldst have her, cut her off from thy flesh and give her a bill of divorce and let her go. But understand, this has to be major things. This can't be just because she doesn't cook right or whatever. These things can be fixed. This has to be major things like adultery or certain things, that's major. She's being a demon in your house and just scoffing and mocking while you teaching the truth. Stuff like that.
That's what it means by when it talks about finding uncleanness in her. She's unclean because she ain't being right in the spirit when she's right when she's with you.
Yeah.
It's one thing you don't believe, but it's another thing when you just don't want to follow the man in the household. And it's his duty and obligation to get rid of a strange woman in the first place.
Yep.
And that's what and yes, Israelite women can be strange women.
Yeah, let me get this. 1 Corinthians 7 and 13. And the woman which hath an husband that believeth not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Else were your children unclean, but now are they holy. So let's say you in the truth as a sister, but your man is still in Christianity or he's Islam or whatever. All right. You don't supposed to depart from him. Okay? He can be sanctified by you, keeping the laws, commandments, and statutes, and vice versa. She can be sanctified by the man, right?
Right, and that's what brings deliverance to our people as a nation of people, Israelites, so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, and the Israelites that may look like the other nations. We all are scattered, being on the four corners of the earth. So basically, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? And when it really comes down to it, that's what it means when the Bible talks about that. But a lot of people don't go over that bill of divorce. I'm one of the very few that actually do it. I don't know if any other brother does it, but I do it because I let you brothers know that you got to give her a bill of divorce. And if you try to give her a bill of divorce and she's like, F that, I'm just going to do whatever I want to do, then it's on her. She's going to get destroyed. All right? And that's just what it is. So did I make myself clear, Tay?
I
Hopefully,
believe he wanted to come up, but
yeah, let her up. Let her up. If she got any questions to ask, let her up. Or
oh, no, I think he left.
yeah, because slave plantation Christians will tell you what adultery really is to them. They'll tell you if a man sleeps with another woman, he commits adultery. But then when you go into the law, you don't see that in the Bible. Right? The only type of way a man commits adultery is when he's sleeping with another man's wife. All right? And that goes all the way into the New Testament when Hamashiach Yahawashi was dealing with the Pharisees and the Sadducees with that woman in John chapter 8. The only reason why she didn't get stoned is because that other man the other party was there. You remember that, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Con.
He wasn't there.
Yeah, they didn't bring the other party.
Yeah. So then
That's
she
showing
didn't.
you that they was
Yeah, go
keeping the
ahead.
law incorrectly because you're supposed to bring both. You only brought the
Yeah.
one.
But it was the mercies of the Most High, Hamashiach Yahawashi. And at the end of the day, you ever notice something too? Hamashiach Yahawashi never put nobody to death.
Con.
You know what I'm saying? Because he was there to bring mercy to the people. We knew that we all were. That's why he said, "He that has not sinned, cast the first stone." Because they sinned right then and there. Do you know that, right? Are you aware of that?
Con, yeah, yeah.
You know what sin they committed?
Bearing false witness?
Not a bearing false witness. No, not that. False balances.
Okay, con.
You know what the Bible says? Can you go to that scripture? I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about.
False balances.
When you read Proverbs 11:1, where it says a false balance is an abomination to Yahawah.
A false balance is abomination to Yahawah, but a just weight is his delight.
If you go to Leviticus 19:35, read Leviticus 19:35. That's the sin that the Pharisees and the scribes committed.
Con. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment, in metayard, in weight, or in measure. Just balances, just weights, a just ephah, and a just hin shall ye have. I am Yahawah your power, which brought you out of the land of Egypt.
Right. Ye shall do no unrighteous judgments in martyr or in weight or in measure. And that's what they did.
Oh, let me get that 15, because that perfects it. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor. So that's showing you, because they brought the harlot, but they didn't bring the individual that she was messing with.
Right. And here's what they were trying to do. They were trying to tempt Hamas. Read John. I'm gonna show you what the other sin besides the unbalanced scales that we read about in the book of Leviticus chapter 19. This is another thing that they were trying to do. Go to John chapter 8, and I want you to read there. I'm gonna break it down to you guys.
Con, you start at the top?
Yeah.
Yahawashi went unto the Mount of Olives, and early in the morning he came again into the temple, and all the people came unto him, and he sat down and taught them. And the scribes and Pharisees brought unto him a woman taken in adultery, and when they had set her in the midst, they say unto him, Master, this woman was taken in adultery in the very act. Well, last time I checked, you can't commit adultery by yourself like that.
Right.
Now Moses and the law commanded us that such should be stoned. But
Which
what
adultery?
say thou?
Which adultery? And what adultery is they talking about when it says such that be stoned? I'll show you in the book of Leviticus right now. Leviticus chapter 20, verse 10. No, you stay there. You stay there. I'll show it. Leviticus 20 and 10. And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. That's what they're talking about regarding stone. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was talking about. That right there. That's what it means by being stoned. Go ahead and go back to the scripture you were reading.
Now Moses in the law commanded us that such should be stoned, but what sayest thou? This they said, tempting him that they might have to accuse him. But Yahawashi stoned
Stop right there, slowly. I'm going to show you something in detail. Read it.
But Yahawashi stooped down and with his finger wrote on the ground as though he heard them not.
But not that part. Go above it. You missed it.
Oh, this they said, tempting him.
This they said, tempting him. Slowly. Read it slowly.
That they might have to accuse him.
That's another sin that they committed. They want to bring a false report. The Bible says, thou shalt not raise a false report. Put not thine hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness.
God, that's why I said bearing false
Verse
witness.
2.
They was trying to get him on that.
Verse 2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. Neither shalt thou speak in the cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. That's the sins that's why Yahawashi Mashiach said he that has not sinned cast the first stone, so they know what sins they were committing. Unbalanced scales and trying to tempt Hamashiach Yahawashi so they could raise a false report.
Okay.
That's why they drop their stones. They're like, oh man, we you know. So these are laws where the Bible talks about where you can't be an unrighteous witness. You know. So when it comes down to it, that hey, this is neither shall thou rest judgment. Where does judgment come from, or where does judgment begins? First Peter chapter 14. What is it? First Peter chapter 14, verse 7.
4 and 7. 4 and 17.
Judge. First Peter chapter 4, verse 17. Judgment must first begin at the house of the Most High. How is the Most High going to judge us? How are we going to be judged? We're going to be judged according to the laws of Yahawah, Bahasham, Mashiach, Yahawashi. So therefore, when it comes down to it, bearing a false report is no different than having false balances. You understand what I'm saying? To all you Akim out there, to all you people out there, y'all listening, that's what it is. So when it comes down to it, that was the understanding of that matter regarding adultery, and adultery regarding matters of adultery and fornication. Give her a bill of divorce so that you will not commit a fornication with her. She does not commit fornication with you, or y'all don't together commit fornication to the Most High, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, because this is a wicked, perverse nation. And fornication is when you're lying down with the harlot. Prime example of that is reading Revelation 17. Revelation chapter 17 on brother, can you give Revelation 17? Give verse 5.
Revelation 17 and 5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
The abominations of the earth, because that's how abominations are committed, by fornication. Go to verse 2.
Verse 2. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
Talking about America, Babylon. So at the end of the day, when you lie down with a whore, you actually committing fornication. Because really, when you go into the Hebrew word fornication, do you know what that word means, Yaramya?
Nah, bring it out.
When you go into that word fornication, in Hebrew is zana. I'm trying to bring it up right now. Hold on for a second. Slack you for the sound. Got these stupid ads coming up on. When you go into the Hebrew word fornication is zana, which is H, which stands for Hebrew 2181, which means harlot, go a whoring, whoredom, whore, commit fornication, whorish, harlot, commit continually, great whore. That's what it means. You know what I'm saying? And it says usually of the female.
Yeah.
So when you're lying down with a woman, or if you it even goes into idol worship. We all know that it goes into idol worship, of course. But if you're lying down with a woman that had more bodies on her than her birthday, then that's fornication. So yeah, give her a bill of divorce, so that you will be blameless in the sight of the Most High, Yahawah, Bahasham, Mashiach, Yahawashi. Hopefully I brought clarity.
And for any brothers that may be kind of confused, because brothers will bring up Genesis, the 38th chapter, with Judah going to mess with a harlot. So harlots are not supposed to be Israelite women. They're supposed to be concubines, right? Our women was never supposed to play the harlot. So if you mess with let's say you get with a Moabite, you can mess with her, right? And you just kick her away after you get tired of her, basically.
Because she's a strange, because that's a strange woman. But the point of the matter is, Israelite women could be strange women if they're not keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments. And my point of the matter is that when it comes to Israelite women, they gotta keep. You gotta give her the bill of divorce, whether she likes it or not. If she don't want to take it, at the end of the day, you're not wrong for sending her out of your house. Because if she's doing that willfully, then that means at the get-go, she was wicked in the first place. That's why you got to watch it with these women out here and how they are. And I'm talking about our women.
Yeah.
The heathen women, yeah, I would say this. Get the heathen women in the kingdom. All right? Most of these women out here, rather be Israelite women or non-Israelite women, they all are into this abomination of this fornication, adulterous society, to the point where the land is defiled and polluted. So America is considered the abominations of the earth. Mm-hmm. Like when you read Revelation chapter 17, verse 5. You know, like Malcolm said, man, I would rather wait into the kingdom, man. Because I already had my fair share and I've seen too much. Yeah. And when you start when things start revealing to you how these females are out here, yeah, they beautiful, yeah, they fine, they sexy. Man, don't get me wrong. They are. Even when I'm walking down the street sometimes when I look at them, I'm like, man. Right? But then you gotta realize how many bodies have they had on them.
Exactly. That's what I talked about earlier.
Right? How many lollipops or how many popsicles have they sucked? Yeah, right? These very same women had more than one lollipop or one popsicle in their mouth, and you go and then you marry them, and then you kiss them in the mouth, not realizing that they just got off having a Wiener Schnitzel in their mouth by some other dude. And then now that Wiener Schnitzel is in your mouth after you kissed her. That's like taking somebody else's toothbrush and you brushing your teeth with it.
Okay.
That's some nasty shit.
Okay.
Salaki, but I have to be that graphic so that y'all can understand. It's a very disgusting and nasty thing.
Yeah, that's the wickedness of a woman. That's it.
Right. And they wonder why STDs is rampant. You know? Yeah. But y'all go ahead and play them games with these females, man.
And don't be that brother. Don't be that brother being like, that won't happen to me. Trust me, it can happen to you. Okay?
That's why you better beg the Most High for mercy, man. Keep you on the right track, especially when you're dealing with these females out here.
Yeah.
You know? Because these females will get you, yes, they will get you caught up. I've seen it happen. I've seen brothers getting caught up. I've seen a lot of shit in my day. Yeah. And I'm only 41. I'm not even an old man. My elders seen a lot more than me. You know, you got women out here gossiping, talking about he say, she say. Even when it comes to the truth, you got women out here calling upon Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, and all they can do is talk about some other sister or talk about some other brother instead of not worrying about what. And the gossiping got to stop. That's another thing your sisters got to stop doing. Because your mouth is going to get you into a lot of trouble.
Tale bearing, all that.
Yeah, tale bearing, all of that. Same with you brothers, because you brothers be doing the same damn thing. You know? I'm like this. If it doesn't involve you, shut your mouth. Stay out of it. That's what I told this. Well, I don't want to talk about it, but I was like, hey, what did that have to do with me? Basically, I was like this. What does that have to do with me? You know, sometimes it's best for you sisters and you brothers to hold your peace. Like the scripture, read that scripture in the book of Exodus again.
Okay, yeah. And I gotta go in about 5 minutes. I gotta head to the plantation.
You know what? I gotta go myself, but that's all I have to say, anyways. You know.
I get that. Yahawah shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. Exodus 14:14.
Right there. My mom always told me that Yahawah Bahasham Mashiach Yahawashi. My mom, regarding her situation. But she always told me that. Every time when I wanted to get some dude down the block, she was like, don't do it. Let the Most High do it. Hold your peace and let the Most High fight your battles.
Yes, indeed.
You know what I'm saying? And I was young hearing my mom telling me this. You know? I remembered a lot of things that my mom used to be coming out with the scriptures on me when I got in trouble. Right? So that's just one. Hold your peace. And I'm glad you brought it up because that's the spirit you brought bringing it out, Yaramba. That's all I had to say. I don't want to go on a long rant. I want to save the water for that.
All right, the water arc for the edification, man, the correction and everything, Appreciate it.
God, I mean, look, I want to take the water for bringing it out. You brought it out well. You know, I didn't really have to say much. I brought you just brought it out well, and you brought edification, and I'm glad you brought it out. I mean,
All right, so we're going to end it, y'all. I'm going to say all praises be to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone. It's double honors to your honor, your elder as well. Shalawam to y'all over there. All right.
I want to say Yahawah, Bahasham, Mashiach, Yahawashi, Amana, Barak, Ahtham to all you Israelites calling upon the name of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi with truth and sincerity. I want to say Salaki if you guys haven't seen me from time to time due to the situations that I got to handle. But y'all will be hearing from me, man. I want to take the water once again.
As always, Kwam Yasharahla and a Baba Ball to this wicked kingdom. All right. May this bitch fall soon. All right. The water for that brother coming up, bringing great edification. The water for all the precepts and input in the comment board. And for you, women that's in the background, maintaining yourselves. All right. The water for, moving in order. All right. And everybody as well, the water. I hope this was an edifying live. Okay. We went into wigs. We went into the curses that's on women. And we went into marriage, and that was perfect, to add to the lesson. So, I hope it was edifying at the end of the day. All right, until next time, Yahawah Ratazah, Shalawam.